There's what's shaking in the world of racing as Zary guns for 11 straight. Whitmore's Con pulls a thrust and parry in the Sword Dancer. Soto's perfect record was on the line in the West Virginia Derby. And we'll look ahead to the Arlington Million, plus maybe even new buckets of crunchy shrimp on Long John Silver's Wire to Wire.
Long John Silver's Wire to Wire, presented by Citgo.
Great view up the track at Saratoga, and that was the main event this weekend. The Sword Dancer and my favorite horse, With Anticipation, never even got a chance to make it to the gate.
And thanks, by the way, for working in the new buckets of crunchy shrimp. I was kind of worried about where I was going to put that. Now I don't have to even think about it.
Taking the pressure off.
With Anticipation was going for his third straight Sword Dancer. He's 8 years old, of course, very popular horse, but it was not to be. A slight muscle tear in his left front leg kept him out of the race. If he was an NFL football player, they would have just put his leg in ice and he would have gone out there and suited it up anyway, but his trainer, Jonathan Shepard, being very careful. In With Anticipation's absence, the favorite as expected, the Bobby Frankel trained, Jerry Bailey-ridden Denon, despite the outside post position. That's him in front.
Down to the final 100 yards, Whitmore's Con now coming on, so too Slough Valley, Whitmore's Con, Denon, not today. McCall moving late, they're coming under the line, and Whitmore's Con has won it.
Denon faded to fourth. Whitmore's Con was the first Grade 1 winner for him, a 4-year-old New York bred, and also for his trainer, Randy Schulhofer, who 2 years ago took over the stable of his now retired father, Hall of Famer Scotty Schulhofer. It was the third Sword Dancer winner for jockey Jean-Luc Samin. The trifecta, Whitmore's Con, McCall, and Slough Valley, $13,000. Wando went for the Canadian Triple Crown.
Salutes the Breeders' Stakes winner and the Triple Crown champion. Wando was better than wonderful this afternoon. He was magnificent.
Funny side failed in America. Wando pulled it off in the Breeders' Stakes Saturday at Woodbine. That means that he's the 7th Canadian Triple Crown winner and the first since Peteski in '93. He won the Queen's Plate by 9, the Prince of Wales by 4, and there the Breeders' Stakes by a length and a half. Patrick Husband is the winning jockey. Owner-breeder Gustav Schickadance, trainer Mike Theo. Now to the Vanderbilt. This was the sprint race on Sunday in horrible conditions. Shake You Down, a 1-2 favorite, but Private Horde just rolled by him and splashed to an easy win as the longest shot on the board, ridden by Jason Lumpkins. Shake You Down faded to fourth. This horse, Private Horde, had just lost to Shake You Down by 8 lengths at Calder. This time he runs a Beyer of 117. Go figure. Ellis Park's biggest race, the Gardenia Handicap, Fillies and Mares, Grade 3, and a big performance for top-weighted Bare Necessities, ridden by Renee Douglas. She's a 5 1/4 length win. She came to Ellis to escape Azeri, who had defeated her in the Vanity. She finished third behind Azeri. But trainer Wally DeLacy will take on Azeri again, he hopes, in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Arlington Park, the Singapore Plate. 3-year-old filly Sue's Good News rallying to a win. She was the 2-1 favorite. She has now won 5 races in 6 starts, trained by Steve Hobby. Sue's Good News was ridden there by Tim Ducey. She had been beaten in the Delaware Oaks, finished 6th in that race in her most recent start. Now she's back in the winner's circle. 2-year-old fillies now at Del Mar, the Sorrento, the even money favorite Dirty Diana, trained by Bob Baffert. But here's a name to remember, Tiz Dubai. Watch her.
And Tiz Dubai gets her with 50 to go. And Tiz Dubai takes the Sorrento Stakes going away.
Tiz Dubai by 4 under David Flores, and yes, this is a full sister to 2-time Breeders' Cup Classic winner Tiz Now. Owned by the Darley Stud Management of Sheikh Mohammed, who paid $950,000 for her as a weanling. Trained by Owen Hardy, that was her 2nd lifetime start. Both have been wins. The Del Mar debutante next for her. The 2-year-old Colts in the Sapling at Monmouth in the slop. The 7-10 favorite Deputy Storm, trained by Todd Pletcher, is in front, but not for long. On the outside, Dashboard Drummer, an Oklahoma-bred gelding by Alamocitos, just purchased after 2 wins at Prairie Meadows, transferred to Alan Iwinski. Jockey Jose Farrar rides Dashboard Drummer. Deputy Storm was 2nd. And Monday, we're back to the fillies in the Adirondack Stakes at Saratoga. Whoopie Cat, another recent purchase by Michael Tabor and Derek Smith. Stayed in the barn of Patrick Biancone, won the Adirondack by a length and a quarter under Edgar Prado. The Todd Pletcher trained Lacoya finished 4th, but earlier in the day, Pletcher saddled his 24th winner of the Saratoga meeting. He's now tied the record, but plenty of time left to break it.
Other news, champion 2-year-old male Vindication has been retired to stud. Here he is winning the Bessemer Trust Breeders' Cup Juvenile last fall. An injury to his left front suspensory put him on the sidelines for the year. Bob Baffert said he didn't have enough time to get him ready for the Breeders' Cup Classic powered by Dodge. He will stand at Hillendale Farm just outside of Lexington. Lots still to come on the big show. Chris Lincoln and Soda are at the track in the West Virginia Derby. We'll preview that big 7-figure race this weekend in Chicago. And Azeri looks to stay perfect in 2003. We'll see if she did it when we come back.
This ESPN2 presentation of Long John Silver's Wire to Wire is brought to you by Long John Silver's new buckets of crunchy shrimp. Citgo, we know you. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Did you know that the richest race this weekend was not at Del Mar or Saratoga?
I have a feeling you're about to tell me where it was.
You're just playing along. I can never stump you. It was at Mountaineer Racetrack and Gaming Center. It was a West Virginia Derby. Chris Lincoln is at the track.
This is Mountaineer Racetrack in the upper panhandle of West Virginia on Derby Day. But it's much more than a racetrack. It's a grand hotel, an entertainment center, bringing in top-name stars. It's almost around-the-clock simulcast betting and sending its racing signal out to over 600 outlets in North America. And its slots, 3,200 of them. That has boosted racing purses here from $18,000 a day to more than $166,000 a day in a decade. The man who's made it happen, Mountaineers President and CEO Ted Arnaud, talked about his track hosting the nation's richest race card this past Saturday.
Certainly that was our plan, but I didn't know whether we'd get there or not. We knew that we would be able to use the entire entertainment venue to drive purses, which we knew would bring in better horses. And one of the big steps was trying to get the simulcast out, and we had a lot of people working with us on that. But now that it's all clicking together, it really works well.
And it was working on Saturday as the $600,000 Grade 3 West Virginia Derby attracted a field that included the favorite, number 1, Dynaver, the Lone Star Derby winner, 4th in the Belmont, ridden by Edgar Prado. Number 5 is the undefeated 3-year-old Soto from Michael Dickinson's barn. Todd Pletcher's Colita, ridden by this year's Kentucky Derby and Preakness winner, Jose Santos. Right before the race, jockey Kent DeSomo had to have the veterinarian scratch his mount. Number 2, Out of Here, came up lame on the track. Rain started falling just before the race as Dave Johnson hauls them home in the 31st West Virginia Derby.
And now here comes Dynaver with Edgar Prado on the outside to challenge. Ramon Dominguez on the inside with Soto, but here comes Dynaver, gobbling up ground with every stride. At the top of the stretch, it's Dynaver on the outside and Soto at the rail. Those two stride for stride, and down the stretch they come. Soto and Dynaver on the outside. Soto coming back. Soto comes back, nails it, and wins it by a head on the line.
Officially, it was Soto by a neck in a new track record time, 1:46.29 for the mile and an 8. Soto is now 5 for 5, and jockey Ramon Dominguez talked about the stretch drive.
I tell you what, it was pretty scary the way he responded, because he does things just like effortless. You know, he never felt like he tried to dog in. He just, looked him in the eye and was playing with him, quite honestly.
Soto, a son of De Hare, is owned by Germany's Baron von Ullmann and trained by Michael Dickinson, who had some concerns coming into the race.
I was worried about fitness, but when we took up the running with, half the race still left to go, I thought, well, this is really going to test his fitness. And I don't think he was quite 100% fit today.
West Virginia Derby Day produced an all-time record handle over $2.5 million, and a record $853,167 was bet on the Derby. Those numbers made for a very happy track owner.
Tremendous today with national exposure, international exposure actually on ESPN. We've got a great card. It's just more excitement. You got thoroughbred racing on a tremendous resurgence. You hear the excitement in the background. It's all happening.
The rain started falling just as the field for the West Virginia Derby got to the starting gate, but it did not dampen the spirits of the big crowd or the connections of Soto, winners of the 31st West Virginia Derby. At the track, from Mountaineer Racetrack and Gaming Resort in West Virginia, I'm Chris Lincoln for Wire to Wire.
Thanks, Chris. It was a busy weekend in American quarter horse racing. We'll make several stops around the country, including Southern Cal, Oklahoma, and Texas. First start is at Sam Houston down in South Texas in the Texas Quarter Horse Association Sires Cup Futurity. A grade 2 going 350 yards. The favorite was I Make 'em Shake.
They are off in the TQHA Sires Cup Futurity. Good start on the outside for Ryan O'Toole. Cowboy Duncan now flying up down toward the inside. I Make Him Shake is also right there. Down toward the inside, Cowboy Duncan. I Make Him Shake. It's the gray. I Make Him Shake to win it.
I Make Him Shake was the fastest qualifier. He seals the deal here, winning by a half length. The TQHA Cyrus Cup Futurity was worth $124,000 this year. Winners cut about $50,000 for this son of Royal Shakem. Ryan O'Toole was a supplement into the Futurity. He would finish in second. All right, that was on Saturday night. Now let's back up to Friday night in the TQHA Derby worth nearly $47,000. Chicks Cartel was the favorite, but keep an eye on Magic Jess Perry.
They are off in the TQHA Sires Cup Derby. Magic Jess Perry in the center of the racetrack away well. The Blue Tail Fly is there down at the inside. Here comes Snow Warning up on the far outside. Races Shakem White. Also coming on is Chicks Cartel. 6 of them across the racetrack at the 70-yard pole. Magic Jess Perry got up and won it by a nostril.
The 9th fastest qualifier, Magic Jess Perry, jumps up to win the TQHA Derby by a nose. Snow Warning, the fastest qualifier, held on for second. Magic Jess Perry is a gelding by Mr. Jess Perry, and he's had a great year. The favorite, Chicks Cartel, was third, and he won $111,000 last year as a 2-year-old for trainer Janet Van Bever. Now to the MBNA America Challenge Championship Series. It's the John Deere AQHA Distance Challenge Finals for the Oklahoma region at Remington Park. The 2-horse Classy Shot Glass was the favorite, but it just was not his day. Tiny Crystal Hoya grabbed the lead early, and despite a battle at the top of the stretch, he put the race away to win by 3 lengths. Trainer Janet Van Bever missed out in the TQHA Derby, but that was not the case here. The gelding by Streakin' La Jolla qualified for the finals now with the 3rd fastest time, but he didn't have any problem holding off the favorite and getting the invite to the big final on November 1st at Los Al. And finally, it's the $75,000 John Deere California Distance Challenge Stakes. Again, 870 yards. Short field here, just 4 horses. Harbor Beach and Available Credit battle down the stretch before Harbor Beach finally puts him away to win by 3/4 of a length. There was a dead heat for second. Harbor Beach tried to qualify for the Challenge Championship Distance Final in 2 other regions, but he was turned back. Finally finds an open door in California. Trained by John Cooper, who also trained Son of Lanny, who won 3 AQHA distance titles. Those are year-end titles. For more information on American Quarter Horse Racing, just give them a call at 1-800-414-RIDE. Bust out the Pampers around a baby talk when we come back as we check out some promising 2-year-olds, plus who's going to win the Arlington Million. A preview is next.